remember when I was growing up, you'd look at the families around you and you'd try and understand the spirit within them, I guess you could say, the culture within them, how some worked and how some didn't work. There was a family up the road where the father would yell and scream and belt the children. There was, around the street, there was a family where the father was very straight and dignified and would jog and look after himself. They seemed to go all right. I think for a while something happened in the end there. Then there was other families where they just went day to day. Other families where men died before they should have. They're just the variables within these cultures, and these domestic cultures. And to look at the way I grew up, it was all dysfunctional. There wasn't, if there is a way of doing things right, I certainly didn't see it. And I guess right comes down to faithfulness and trust and loyalty and devotion. Not perfection. The faithfulness and loyalty and devotion can work itself within absolute dysfunction. And we're just in the truck at the moment, so do excuse the background noise. I do ask you to forgive me. But faithfulness, loyalty and devotion will commit itself within terrible dysfunction. And the results of this dysfunction can be catastrophic, particularly where young children are involved and they're starting to go down the wrong track. And somebody's got to step in to try and resolve how these people have been taken off course. And from what I saw, for the most part, at least initially, none of it was successful, unless there was even the iron fist parents really couldn't turn around the mindsets of these children that were determined to mix with the wrong crowds and disable themselves from the wrong activities. Drugs and everything were just always at the doorway, alcohol, drugs and other things. And we watch people get mentally maimed from drugs, physically maimed, die from drugs and alcohol, get bashed. And the funny part about it is a lot of this trouble came from people that were known. People that were getting bashed were being bashed by people that were known. The violence that come out of the alcohol and drugs was scary, to say the least, absolutely frightening, and it proved that there's absolute negativity that comes with drugs and alcohol. There's violence, unpredictable violence, because some people can handle their alcohol and drugs better than others, but nobody at the end of the day really handles it well at all. Somebody's going to crack. It's just a matter of time, and if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time and that person's there when they crack, well, somebody's going to get hurt or maimed, or there's going to be a car accident or some other kind of accident that can take place. So a lot of these cultures, the way in which young people get caught up in the wrong things, these parents tried to stop that or fix that, but they couldn't. And these are the powers that are working against communities and families. And they've got no conscience, they won't stop. They'll keep coming at these children. They'll keep trying to mislead these children. Now you've got these other trends like transgenderism that's trying to chop these people up, turn them into something that they're not. I call it Frankensteinianism. It's in a way, it's just Frankensteinish how these people are mutilating themselves and trying to become boys and boys becoming girls and all this, and then regretting it later. You can't change that kind of harm. It's a harm on a completely different level. It's being encouraged within most of the institutions now. Excuse me. As a matter of fact, Elon Musk on X put a post on saying that Scotland now is threatening people with a 7-year sentence in jail if they misgender somebody and that person decides to sue them. It's a violent, vicious culture that will stop at no ends until the knife goes in. These people are mutilated and changed. It's a defiance towards God, the Creator. What you've done's just not good enough, and we'll fix it in an illegitimate way, not in a way in which is going to improve anything. And what I want to say about this is, and it's very true, the mind, the human mind, for all its brilliance, the human heart, for all its attributes, can't be trusted. Jesus said this. He warned us that the human heart is deceitful. And this is where all these wickednesses come from, deep from within our mind and our soul. And so I just wanted to bring this, that the battle that families are up against that want the best for their children, they've got a lot against them, and it hasn't changed for millenniums. It's just gotten worse and more devious, more blatant. In some ways in Australia they've tried to bring in laws on when you can drink and laws about drugs and stuff, but they've slowly allowed some of those laws to erode. It doesn't mean that people aren't being maimed and hurt, killed from these substances and alcohol and social drugs, sexual self-trashing and all the deviancy that comes with it. All leads to deviancy. So I'll sign off there because it's very noisy. If you've got to the end of this, thanks for listening and bye for now.